I'm Mekenzie, and I am the Stevie Nicks in Rumours ATL, and we're playing at the Plaza in May on the 14th.
Yes.
And we started this band almost 8 years ago, actually. We will be celebrating the week of our 8-year anniversary, like kicking off that Saturday night. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
exciting.
So that's really cool that I just thought about that. I was like, our very first practice was May 19th, and we're
Oh my
playing
gosh.
at y'all's venue on the 14th. So that's really cool.
Yes, very cool. So tell me how y'all got started and what made you choose Fleetwood Mac to be kind of your inspiration.
Well, when I was in the 7th grade, my uncle Vic accompanied me on acoustic guitar and I sang Landslide at the talent show. And
Okay.
that was the first time that I ever sang in front of anyone. And from there, my love of singing Stevie Nicks songs kind of grew. And so I would sing with his band in local bars and, little places around Atlanta. And then in 2014, my friend Keith and I were in another band together and we were listening to Fleetwood Mac one day and he was like, I would love to play these songs. I'm like, yeah, that would be a great idea. So he had a friend that played guitar and so he joined and then we found a drummer through their other band and then it turned out that like all of those guys wanted to play punk rock and they were like, well, this sounded fun, but so then it just kind of grew where like members knew other people that we ended up bringing in. So like Adrian lived next door to our old guitar player. So that's how she joined the band.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's been a really interesting experience over the last 8 years because we started it as a wouldn't it be kind of funny to play Fleetwood Mac songs at like a pretty well-known hipster bar in Atlanta. We thought it would be a one night thing and that nobody would care. And it sold out. And then the next
Wow.
show sold out. So it just kind of snowballed. And then an agent found us on YouTube. And like his very first offer was the House of Blues in Myrtle Beach. And we were like, is this guy for
Wow.
real? So we showed up and they were like, you guys must be Rumors. And we're like, oh my God, this is legit. So we were little fish in a very big pond. And it was sometimes we still have that feeling where we're like, wow, this is incredible that we get to do this for a living. So
That is awesome.
yeah.
So tell me about now, like what the band is doing this year and kind of the future for y'all. Where do you see yourself going?
We kind of reevaluated what we wanted not only as a band but as individuals back during all the downtime during the pandemic. And
Mhm.
I had a baby like 3 weeks after lockdown.
Oh,
And
wow.
so it was scary to think, we don't have these jobs and like, what are we going to do? We banked on this and we thought that this was going to be like our 10, 15-year thing. And, we were only in year 6 at that point. We are like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And so we really took time to reflect on what we had done as a band. We kept in mind that even though we were only a band for, a year and a half at that point, we got to play a whole week at Disney. We got to play at Daryl's house and we just came up on our 30th visit there, like 30th time on their stage and every single show we've ever played has been sold out. So it's like we had to be grateful for what we have accomplished already. And then going forward in 2021, we were like, look, let's play a bunch of outdoor shows, give people the opportunity to still be able to see live music and enjoy it because COVID was still spreading. And so we were like, well, the first thing that goes away is entertainment. So how do we make this safe for everyone? And, we did those handful of Coca-Cola Roxy shows where, it's a huge room. We were able to spread people out. And we really learned through that whole process of, this is something that we're bringing joy to people no matter what environment. I mean, we played outside one night and I think they clocked it at like 99 degrees at like 8 p.m.
Oh, man.
and so hot on stage. And everybody out in the audience was just dripping sweat, but having so much fun.
Right.
And going forward, I think that as a band, we're looking at it as this is something that has not only brought us joy, but it brings so many other people joy. And so going into, this summer and looking into 2023, it's just like we want to just bring this music that we love to so many people all over the world and all over the US too. There's so many different places that we haven't played yet. And so it's really to us is like we want to play anywhere where people are going to love it and appreciate it and dance and have a good time and want us back. And I think that's the most important thing about music is once all of that art and everything went away during COVID, I think people really realized that they need that in their lives. And, we
Definitely.
certainly need it, not just from a career aspect, but it was really depressing to not be on stage, like singing these songs and playing these songs and like being able to look across the stage and your best friends are there. And it was
Yeah.
really hard. So I think that's our biggest thing is like this next year is like all about camaraderie and fun and just being a unit. And honestly, my dream gig is Red Rocks. So
Oh, girl.
hopefully, hopefully they'll let us play there because it's so amazing.
Yes, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you choose the songs. I know Fleetwood Mac has a ton of hits, but what is the process like choosing songs for each gig?
I think that we have our basic set list, and sometimes we'll take like Silver Springs out and throw in Sarah, or sometimes we'll keep Silver Springs, take Sarah out, but then do Over My Head instead of Don't Stop. And so it all depends on the way everyone's feeling. I know with the pollen and everything, it's like there's some songs that I can't hit those high notes. So, but then you have to look at it as well. We can't take Gypsy out of the set, and we can't take Dreams out of the set, and we can't take Say You Love Me out of the set, or Secondhand News. So, or Go Your Own Way. So that's the hardest part is like, we could honestly make a set list that would be 3.5 hours long. And I feel like by
Right.
the end of it, everybody would be so exhausted, like the audience too. But, you know, I think the way that I started doing it when I really grasped like what like the concept of what a set list is, every other band I've ever been in's been like, "Hey, you guys want to do this one?" We just kind of had like a loose idea of what we were going
Uh-huh.
to do for the night. But with Rumors, I went on Setlist FM and looked up Fleetwood Mac like live shows and went to like some of their biggest tours. So like the Mirage tour and the Rumors tour, and even most recently with their Show Must Go On without Lindsay. It's like
Right.
we wanted to incorporate some of those Tom Petty songs too, especially after Tom Petty had passed away. So there's times when will throw in, Mary Jane's Last Dance or Free Fallin', or, it probably won't happen this coming up show, but we have a lot of fun with it because there's so many different songs to choose from. And there's also so many great songs that Stevie, Lindsay, and Christine had in their solo careers as well.
Mhm.
So those are fun to throw in every now and then. And we're working up stuff that people know, but we haven't ever played in our set list before. So
Sure.
that would be really exciting to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell me how y'all get into character before hitting the stage.
Um, we drink twisted tea backstage. No, I'm just kidding. We do that. That wasn't around with Fleetwood Mac. It is funny because we get that question a lot where people are like, "So are you guys like really like Fleetwood Mac?" And it's like, no, we just get, we get to the venue, we load in, we sound check, and between loading in and sound checking, Adrian and I will be in the green room. I have straight hair naturally, so I curl my hair. She has curly hair naturally, so she straightens hers. It's like I wish we could just take our
Wow.
put it on
Uh-huh.
the other person. But so we do that, and then we just kind of hang out and we listen to music and we watch funny videos, and it's more just like a, hey, how was your week? I haven't seen you since last week or whatever. And so we don't really necessarily get into character until like we start playing the songs. And it's
Uh-huh.
like, oh yeah, people are responding really well to this. Okay, like we got this. It's still very much like imposter syndrome on stage. Sometimes you're like, are people gonna like this show? And then by the end of the show, it's like, you guys did amazing. Oh my God, it was so great. We're like, oh, thank God,
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I mean, we get into character, but it's also more of we want to bring people the experience of like seeing Fleetwood Mac and hearing their music the way it's supposed to be played. And I feel like there's a lot of tribute bands out there that focus more on, wearing wigs and fake beards and like the look instead of the sound. And you didn't like Fleetwood Mac because the way they looked. I mean, they weren't bad to look at, but it they sounded incredible. And even live they were good, but they were such an amazing studio band that to me we want to recreate what they sounded like in the studio but make it feel like a live show. So I don't know, it's not necessarily about getting into character, it's more about, like, how are we going to convey these songs to someone in Amarillo, Texas, that's never seen us before, you know what I mean? So it's more like that because we don't do the accents and I don't do the goatee, like, Stevie thing, you know? I feel like if you're making it into a play, you should do it as a play, not as a tribute show, you know? So, yeah, but that's a great question. I like that question. Yeah.
Now, do you have a favorite song to perform as Stevie?
Um, it's probably one of the more difficult songs to perform because of the like the vocal bouncing that she does. Like there's
Mhm.
so many octave changes and things like that. But Silver Springs is probably my favorite. That song is so just deeply passionate and sad, and you know it comes from a really dark place in her life, things that she experienced with Lindsey Buckingham, and I have been able to relate to that in my own life. And so singing that song, especially now, is a very different and cathartic experience. But my other favorite song to perform as Stevie is probably Gypsy. And then the other songs of, you know, Lindsay songs and Christine songs. My favorite Christine song to perform is You Make Love and Fun. And my favorite Lindsay song to perform is probably Secondhand News. That one's really fun. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Now, do you find yourself relating more to Stevie as you've gotten older and as you kind of performed as her more? Do you kind of find your stories kind of intertwining a little bit?
Our lives definitely parallel each other in a very strange way. She joined Fleetwood Mac when she was 27, and I started Rumours when I was 27. Like I
Wow.
had just turned 27 that year. And then, you know, she was with her guitar player and I was too. And, you know, there's a lot of like tumultuous times in our band and a lot of tumultuous times in Stevie's band as well. And you know, the only difference is that she never had children and I have a child.
Mhm.
And, you know, I know that she's been quoted as saying that she regrets not having children. That's one of her biggest things is that she always put her career first. But now that, you know, she's 78 years old, 77 years old, she's looking back on it thinking, you know, not only could I have had children, but I could have grandchildren now. And you know, I always wanted to have a child and a family. And so for me, I'm glad that I was able to have that opportunity. And
Mhm.
COVID was actually kind of a little bit of a blessing because I was able to stay home with my newborn and like just who is this little person? It was
Right.
now she's the full-blown 2-year-old terrorist,
Mhm.
but I
Gotta
do feel like
love
our lives are very parallel. You know, she writes about a lot of the things that I myself have experienced. And I feel like women and men, you know, can identify with a lot of the stuff that she writes about. And I don't know, she always knew that she was going to be a singer and a performer. And I've always known that I was going to be a singer and a performer. And I would love to meet her one day, even if it was just like a 5-minute conversation, just to tell her how much she impacted my life. And I'm not one of those people that has like a Stevie shrine or whatever, but
Mhm.
you know, she really did change my whole perspective on singing and songwriting as well. I have immense respect for Stevie Nicks. So yeah,
Cool.
it's a good
Now, I know
question.
you just said you would love to meet her. Have y'all ever met any of the Fleetwood Mac band? Have they ever seen your videos that you know of? Anything like that?
We've never met them, but they have seen our videos because in order for us to play at Disney World, they had to approve the authenticity of the
Mhm.
sound. And so we beat out other Fleetwood Mac tribute bands because Fleetwood Mac specifically picked us. And there are other tributes that like say that they're endorsed or whatever, but that's just because, you know, they're either friends with a member of the band or, you know, they have been heard by them and they're like, yeah, you guys are great. But we have an email from Irving Azoff, their manager. He was like, they're great. They have the go ahead, like
Yep.
really good job. But we're going to be playing in Utrecht, Netherlands at the end of May. And we're playing at this place called the Tivoli. And Lindsey Buckingham is playing the night after us. And we're off that night. So we're trying to see if maybe the venue, you know, the people that run the venue will give us tickets so that we can maybe like meet Lindsey Buckingham, because I do think it would be really cool to like get a picture with him and
Yes.
you know talk to him about how just incredible he is as a musician. And like,
Mhm.
I know that he probably doesn't want to dwell too much on Fleetwood Mac just because of the past and everything, but I've seen his solo shows, and I mean, I think that Fleetwood Mac or not, Lindsey Buckingham would be a really incredible person to meet. I know that Mick Fleetwood comes to Atlanta a lot, so there may be an opportunity to run into him too. But I
Yeah,
don't know. We've never met any of them, but I feel the winds of change shifting, so it
love
could
it.
happen soon.
Love it. So tell me about what audiences can expect when they come to your shows. And specifically, so y'all are playing outside here at the Plaza. How are
Mhm.
outside shows different for y'all than inside as far as, kind of more room to dance,
Right.
that sort of thing? What can audiences expect from y'all?
Well, we're playing May 14th, so expect pollen and heat and possibly springtime rain shower.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be a musician. I wanted to be a newscaster or meteorologist. I can't even say it, but no, I'm joking. You can definitely expect at any rumor show that it is funny. We all have a very good sense of humor. We're all best friends, so we get along really well. And I think it's really important when you go see a band that you can tell that they get along and there aren't people rolling their eyes at each other, looking at each other like they're frustrated with the other person. We genuinely have fun. And I feel like outdoor shows are a lot more laid back. We tend to get a lot more audience involvement at outdoor shows. We've played a lot of festivals. We've done a lot of outdoor, like municipal, like downtown Lawrenceville or,
Mhm.
things like that. We've done a lot of shows like that. And those shows are always so much fun. But the one thing I will tell you that is different between an outdoor show and an indoor show is the merch area is a lot harder to find. So if you want to buy a cool Rumors t-shirt, make sure that you find someone who works at the facility and you figure out where the merch is, because that has happened to us so many times at outdoor shows where
Mhm.
there's thousands and thousands of people all over the place and they're like, I have no idea how to get to the band's t-shirts. I want a t-shirt. So yeah, I think that outdoor shows kind of lend themselves to being more laid back anyway. We tend to dress a little less, stiff with the, collars and the
Right.
lace all the way down to the wrists and everything. So it's more of a laid back show, but it's still the same high energy and fun. So yeah.
Awesome. So one last question, unless you have anything else you want to add. What is your favorite part about being Stevie and being in this band?
That is such a good question. Probably the fact that, like I had mentioned earlier, a lot of these songs hold very deep meaning to people. And I know that there are specific songs like Sarah or Silver Springs, or even Storms, which is a song that we don't do because I can't get through it. But like Landslide, especially, is a song that people just connect to on such an emotional level. And I think the thing that is so heartwarming to me is being able to look out into the audience and see someone showing that emotion, whether it's smiling really big because they're like, oh my God, I love this song, or
Mhm.
they're crying, or, just like swaying along and like really feeling what they're hearing. And after the shows, talking to fans and hearing people say, I'm so glad that you played that song tonight, or, you really inspired me because you sound so much like Stevie Nicks that I felt like I was seeing her and I've never been able to afford to see Fleetwood Mac, or I think it's so awesome that you know so much about Fleetwood Mac. And did you know this? Like, it's such a great thing to bring joy to people and to see people smile. And honestly, like, to freaking hug people again is like such a wonderful feeling. That was the hardest thing about COVID was fans would just be like, "Oh my gosh, like we just want to say hi." And we're like, "We're so sorry." We had to keep our distance, but we're slowly getting back into the groove of, people can be people and free again and enjoy being at a concert, because music genuinely is a link that keeps people together with each other. And you make friends at concerts. And
Mhm.
that is the thing that's been so special to me, not just being Stevie Nicks, but just playing in a band that gets to play all over the country and all over the world, is the smiles are the same no matter where you go. The
Mhm.
accents are different, the attitudes are different, but the smiles are the same. And that is such an inspiring, awesome thing to be able to feel doing this. So thank you for, booking us, and like, and we'll be able to make people in Eatonton smile. And that's like such a cool thing because we
Yeah.
always pass Eatonton and we're like, I wonder if we're ever going to play there, you know? So it's cool. Yeah, that's exciting.
Good. Well, we're very excited to have y'all. We cannot wait. Is there anything else that you want to add about the show or anything about the band or anything like that?
I just that we're really excited, and hopefully it's going to be a nice weekend and the weather's going to be good, and just bring your dancing shoes, and we'll have fun together because that's what this is all about. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, I so appreciate your time. I'm sorry for the confusion at the beginning,
No,
but
it's all
thank
good.
you so much for taking time to sit down and talk with me today. And we look forward to seeing you May 14th.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a good
Bye.
one.